What's going on, YouTube? Genuinely interested in toilet paper now. Joined by my roommate, Roman, who's an entrepreneur in the health and supplement sector. Now, there's been a lot of negative talk going on about the coronavirus. So we're here to talk about a little bit more of a positive aspect of it.
Yeah, it's a positive aspect and just giving you some, other aspects rather than just all this negativity going on. I feel like it's very, very hard to stay positive and be grateful for the things that we do have when consistently everything on the media is negative, and a lot of people around you are as well, because everyone just has a lot of uncertainty. People are worried, they don't know what's going on, and people are really unsure what's going to happen and if we're going to get through this, and if things are just going to spiral downhill. But the news consistently puts out negative information, or and facts. I shouldn't say just negative, but facts, but more so the negative
side of
the
facts.
negative side of
Like,
facts.
when you instill fear into people, like, that's what everyone talks about. It's like, what's going to get the clicks, what's going to get the views. The fear of this coronavirus is what makes the people talk. So what are some positive aspects of it? Like, how many people are recovering from this?
Okay, so really, like, we're at about 41 to 43% ratio of people actually recovering from the virus. So as all these numbers that the news keeps putting out, we have this many cases now, this many cases, but they're not actually putting out the stats of how many people actually recovered. So it's about 40 to 43% of people who recovered from the virus. So almost 50%, which is great, because if the news actually put out, this is how many cases we have now had, but this is how many cases have recovered, I don't think we would be as worried or have so much fear or panic. But with the news consistently putting out this negativity and not talking about any of the positive sides of things, it makes people get uncertain. It makes people live off fear, and it makes people panic, and that's why we have no toilet paper on the shelf.
So what's going on with that? So I was at Walmart yesterday, and I couldn't buy toilet paper. It was completely sold out. And then I walked to the health and supplement section to get vitamin C, and it was completely stocked. What's going on there?
Yeah, so first of all, I don't know why you went to a grocery store to buy vitamin C. We'll talk about that later. But second of all, it's just people not using common sense. Common sense isn't so common no more. Actually, you know what? I really have no idea what makes people want to stock up on toilet paper. Like, there's so many other options for that.
I can see the sanitizer, like hand sanitizer and like paper towels, things like that. I can understand in this disease spreading thing, but why toilet paper?
Yeah, toilet paper and paper towel. There's no really reason for that. I know when China first declared that the virus was out and it was spreading as quickly as it was, and they started closing down power plants and factories. I know they closed down a huge paper factory or paper plant that actually produced a large amount of paper towel and toilet paper. And that's why people heard that plant was shutting down, and people started panicking and buying all the toilet paper. Just as contagious as the virus actually is, so is fear, overreacting, and panicking. So once a large amount of people start panicking and start freaking out, it's gonna duplicate. People are gonna catch on to that. They see all these other people panicking and full of fear. They're gonna start panicking and overreacting, and it's just as contagious as the virus itself. But I think really we need to not panic, not overreact, and you just need to prepare. There's no reason to go out and hoard everything, and there's no reason to go stock up on massive amounts of toilet paper, right? Really, I think the worst that's going to happen is we're going to have a quarantine, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. I think we really need it so the government can get things out of control. But if you want to look at countries or places or cities that have got control of it, right, it's just that we need to follow those steps. Like Wuhan, it began in Wuhan. They're getting back to normal now. Their stock market's going back up.
I actually heard Wuhan built a China.
Wuhan built a China.
3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Wuhan built a hospital in 5 days and had it fully operational.
Yep.
So I think the Asian countries really had, they were prepared for this. Another one was South Korea. So South Korea built a drive-through testing center for the coronavirus, where you can just drive up, get your blood tested, and then in a couple of days, their health organization would send you the results and let you know if you need to be quarantined. So that's really interesting.
So countries are starting to really pull through, and there's a lot of countries that actually have been treating it very well. There's lots of vaccines that other countries are working on, and I think we're gonna have control of this very shortly. And like with the drive-through, what they did in South Korea, where you can just go get checked. I think that's highly important, so we can get checked quicker. That way, when we have the symptoms of a cold, we know if it's just a common cold or if it's the virus. Because they actually say it takes about 3 to 6 days to actually for the virus to show.
You can infect so many people within those 3 to 6 days. Like just you shake hands with so many people.
Yeah.
Just breathe. You're in the same room with so many other people every single day. That's how fast it can spread.
Yeah, and especially if you're not sure if you even have it, because 3 to 6 days is a long time to carry the virus and not even have a symptom. So you could be out there spreading it around and you don't even know you have it or even have a symptom of a cold. So I believe it's really important we have something that we could go get tested quicker, and they are working on things to get quicker results. So when it just we started getting the testing kits, it would take about 3 to 6 days for us to get the results whether we had it now. Now it's instant. It's we find out whether we have the results right away. So the countries are improving. Like Wuhan, they're back to normal. Their stock market's back up to 3%.
Yeah.
But things are getting under control. And if you want to talk about Italy,
As a country that wasn't prepared, right?
Italy was not prepared for an epidemic like this, or for a pandemic like this, and they didn't have the staff, they didn't have the hospitals, they didn't have the beds, and so they had to really pick who they were going to let in and help and quarantine. And so with anybody that was already really ill or sick, they were kind of just pushing aside, and anybody over 80, they would kind of just let go home and really tell them, you know what, you're not going to make it. They had to prioritize who they were going to take into the hospital and help and quarantine and so on and so forth. But really, the reason why the deaths were so high was because they weren't ready, they didn't have the room, and they were turning people down left, right, and center that they felt had no chance. So that's how it spread so quickly, and what they're going to do to get control of it, I don't know. I'm not too sure, but I believe
the full lockdowns is a step in the right direction. I think North America has yet to follow that, especially Canada hasn't followed it yet. There's kind of baby steps. Some jobs are open here and some jobs are closed. Would it be more effective just to have everything closed down except for the essential healthcare and grocery stores?
Yeah, you know what? And I think that's where the big panic comes from, is not so much just the virus spreading itself, but what happens if we go on lockdown? Will we be funded? Will we be taken care of? And that's where people panic, because they can't afford to have 2 weeks to a month off. And so really, Justin Trudeau, Trump, and everybody, Justin Trudeau, Trump, and they're working on stuff for the citizens. I know Trump wants to give $1,000 check to every citizen and every employed citizen, and I know Justin Trudeau wants to do the same thing. I have faith that they'll take care of you guys, but this is a clear example why you can't rely on the government, you can't rely on a pension plan, you can't rely on other people to take care of you. This is another topic we'll share in another video, but it's so important that you take control of your own life and you do something for yourself, so if something like this happens, you and your family are taken care of. But a lockdown.
Yeah, for sure.
We were talking about the lockdown. Sorry, got a little off topic.
Just if you want to see the next video coming out, please hit that like button. It helps the channel grow, and be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when that next video comes out, and you can learn a little bit more about this virus and how to be financially ready for it. Because there's a lot of people whose jobs just closed down, and now they didn't save for this. They weren't prepared for this, right?
Yeah, you know what? I think a 14-day or 30-day quarantine would be good. As you look at Wuhan, we were talking about earlier, they did a complete lockdown. They got things under control and back on track. And people could say, oh, that's just what they're saying. But you look at the stock market, their stock market's in the green. The stock market speaks for itself, really.
Yeah, ours is down.
Everywhere else is down. So I really believe, you see New York, San Fran, they're going on complete shutdowns. I think we need to do the same. And I think the quicker we do it, the less it's going to spread. The quicker we slow it down, the faster we get it under control, and we can get back to our normal lives. But I think them just taking away, or just starting with social distancing and closing down dining and pubs and clubs and stuff like that, I think those are baby steps, but I think the quicker we just fully do the lockdown, the quicker it's going to start. But they need to figure out what they're going to do for unemployment and people who have lost their jobs and where their work has shut down. So I think they're just figuring things out.
Yeah, Donald Trump and Justin Trudeau have touched on giving money to citizens during this period as like part of an unemployment EI thing. There's still more to come on that, so we'll hear about that in the next couple days. But something else I want to talk about is like preparing for this. How can I stay healthy?
Like we were talking about earlier, where a lot of the people who have had severe cases or unfortunately passed away were already ill or they were elderly. But I think as us, with the the millennials and baby boomers, I think we'll be okay as long as we stay healthy, stay fit, keep a strong immune system. I really feel even if we caught the virus, we would fight it as a normal flu. Because really, as you see, the 41 to 43% of cases have actually been cured, or they have fought it and been discharged from hospitals. And so I think really if we just really focus on times like this, the social distancing, being healthy, taking your vitamins and supplements, I think that's highly important.
So which ones should we be taking?
Yeah, so really, there's so much different supplements out there for different things. I just really think anything to take care of your immune system. So also it's highly important on what supplements and vitamins you take and what brands you are using. Like I was joking around with him earlier, you got to really be careful when you're buying vitamin C and multivitamins off the shelf. You don't know what kind of fillers are in there, what kind of phytonutrients they've used, where those phytonutrients are grown, how the farms have been taken care of, and also what kind of fillers that they're using and add-ins and things like that. So you got to be really careful with the supplements and how effective they really are. So when it comes to supplements, like he was mentioning, I'm an entrepreneur in the health and supplement sector, that I've looked for and I made sure that I was taking the best quality of supplements and vitamins, and really it just comes down to research. But one of the companies that I found, which I also distribute now, is called Nutrilite. Nutrilite is the world's #1 supplement company worldwide, and you cannot buy them in the stores. You only can buy them online or through distributors like myself. So you can look me up on Instagram. My name's Roman Lowe's. But to go back into talking about the supplement, Nutrilite is certified, grown in harvest and certified organic land. They own 6,000 acres of certified organic land. They're the only company to form and produce their supplement from seed to supplement in a 4-hour time span. So from the time the phytonutrient was picked, in a 4-hour time frame, it will be turned into supplements. So you're getting fresh supplements, no GMO. They use Falconry. They're the only supplement brand to use
Falconry.
Falconry.
A little bit more into detail on that. So Roman told me about this like Falconry, and I thought it was probably like the coolest fact in the world.
Yeah, so they're the only brand to do that, but they have trained falcons and trainers that continuously all day walk around with these falcons, and the falcons fly off, and what they do is they keep other birds and rodents out of the farmland. So you don't have other birds flying across the farms and pooping into the seeds and into the soil, and they keep all other rodents that could be carrying diseases and viruses and stuff like that out of the farmland. So they make sure that nothing is getting into their vitamins and their supplements or into their dirt and their soil. They also pay all the farmlands that are around them to make sure that they are certified organic as well, so there's no cross seeding. So that's why I will use Nutrilite. I know everything is pure and everything is trackable. Every seed that they plant has a birth certificate. So if you get a bad batch of supplements or vitamins, they can trace it right back to who planted it, who picked it, where it was grown, who produced it into supplements, so on and so forth. Everything is tracked.
So you actually brought a couple today. What are some of the most important things to be taking during this flu season of this?
Yes, I believe it. Yeah, sorry, I didn't really answer the question, but I'm taking a multivitamin. It's called Double X. It's actually Nutrilite, and what Nutrilite is truly famous for. But Nutrilite actually invented the multivitamin in 1938. They are the founders of the multivitamin. So they have had tons of scientists and tons of time to work on coming out with the best multivitamin out there. When you actually open it, it smells like a garden.
It smells exactly like a garden. Exactly like my mom's garden.
And then you can just tell how fresh it is. And also our vitamin C. The vitamin C that I take is an extended release. So it slowly extends through your through your digestive system throughout the day. Because if you take vitamin C in the morning, your immune system will be extremely strong in the morning. But as it wears out and the day goes on, by the time nighttime, your immune system isn't strong. That vitamin C is no more effective. Vitamin C runs through your body so quickly. So with an extended release, the vitamin C slowly releases throughout the day. Also with Nutrilite, the vitamin C that they do use. The vitamin C that they do use is produced from the acerola cherry, and the acerola cherry is the purest form of vitamin C, and Nutrilite owns 90% of the farms owning the acerola cherry. Another thing I do take for health to reduce my chances of getting heart disease is garlic health. There are lots of vitamins and supplements that I do take. These are not everything. This is just what I highly recommend with everything going on right now to keep a strong immune system. I also have these things called Twist Tubes on the Go, Nutrilite by Nutrilite. What it is that you get the 3 different, this is a variety pack. So you can get the strawberry kiwi, which is the immunity health. It gives you 1,500 milligrams of vitamin C. You have the antioxidant health, which is a mango citrus, which gives you 4 servings of fruit and vegetables. And then you have a joint health one as well, actually raspberry, which is 1,500 milligrams of glucosamine. But I highly recommend the Twist Tubes to go, the vitamin C or the antioxidant health, just to take with you, put into your water. They're very simple to use. You just rip off the top, squirt it into your water, and you have vitamin C on the go all day. So, yeah, so you know what, then also it's important that you're eating healthy too. You know, a multivitamin with a bad diet is still a bad diet.
Yeah, so what are some vitamins and supplements that we should be taking in this time period?
I think it's highly important, of course, to take vitamin C. Of course, right? And even though you eat a lot of fruit or you have a good diet, I think it's still important to get any extra vitamin C that you can. Your body's just going to pee out the extra vitamin C, so it's important just to overdose on it. But it's also important when it comes to taking vitamin supplements, you do your research on the brands that you are using. A lot of vitamin C that's sold in stores and on the shelf. Well, you just don't know where those phytonutrients are coming from. You don't know the quality of phytonutrients that they're using, the quality of vitamin C that they're using in their supplements. If they're using anything synthetic or artificial, and the fillers and so on and so forth that a lot of these supplement brands are using. So it's highly important to do your research into what brand you are using. So a brand that I use is called Nutrilite. Nutrilite is the world's #1 supplement company worldwide.
So I heard they actually invented the multivitamin. So I heard Nutrilite actually invented the multivitamin.
Yeah, so actually Nutrilite invented the multivitamin in 1938. So they have had years and years of research and thousands of scientists working on their product daily. They are not sold on the shelf, so none of the profits go to shelf space, advertising. There's no commercials. It's all sold through distributors and word of mouth distributors like myself. And so none of their profits actually go into marketing or advertisements or getting that shelf space in the stores. It all goes back into the scientists and the research and the product itself. So again, it's all harvested and produced in certified organic soil and land. They own over 6,000 acres of certified organic land, and they also own 90% of acerola cherry farms. So with the vitamin C that Nutrilite uses, as it is an extended release, but it is actually, the supplement is produced from the acerola cherry. The acerola cherry is the purest form of vitamin C worldwide. And again, Nutrilite owns 90% of acerola cherry farms.
So something else you told me was the falconry. I thought that was a pretty cool fact. So Nutrilite has these falcons that watch over their vitamins and supplements, right?
Yes, they're like the scarecrow, but
Yeah.
but they actually have falconry. So they have trained falcons that fly around their farms and keep out any kind of rodents or other birds, or even other birds flying over their farms that will fly over and drop off their friends. And they will get into the soil and into the seed and into where those phytonutrients are grown. So the falcons make sure that there's nothing coming across. A lot of birds and rodents, they carry a lot of diseases, and so the falcons make sure that none of these diseased birds or rodents are coming in there and dropping off any of their friends into the soil or into your seed and supplement. You have no idea the kind of farms that these other brands are using and how they take care of the farms themselves and how much GMO they're using, so on and so forth. But the Nutrilite also pays out all the farms around them that are anywhere close to be certified organic as well, so none of the seeds cross feed.
Gotcha.
My arm's getting really sore. That was really hard.
So what other supplements should we be taking? So vitamin C is a big one for sure, right?
Yeah, so vitamin C, definitely multivitamin. I believe so you get a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
The double X, the multivitamin that Nutrilite has is actually 24 essential vitamins and minerals from all food groups.
Gotcha.
Every color from the phytonutrient chart.
So
as well as I think
so this disease came from a bat. So does garlic help at all?
Yeah, so I think you should be taking garlic health for sure, because it did come from a bat. So sure that they keep any kind